speed records don't last, they get hunted. And for decades, the world's biggest motorcycle manufacturers fought an all-out war to build the fastest production bike on Earth. The result? 17 machines so outrageous that some forced the industry into an unofficial speed truce. Today, we're counting down the 17 fastest production motorcycles ever made, from legendary record breakers to machines that still feel almost impossible. And trust us, when we reach the top few entries, you'll understand why some of these bikes changed motorcycling forever. Number 17. Suzuki GSX-R750. Every legendary speed machine begins with a breakthrough, and for countless superbikes, that breakthrough was the Suzuki GSX-R750. When it arrived during the mid-'80s, it rewrote the rules by proving that breathtaking performance wasn't simply about building a bigger engine. Instead, Suzuki focused on creating the perfect harmony between power, weight, and razor-sharp handling, laying the foundation for the modern superbike. Beneath its aerodynamic bodywork sits a liquid-cooled dual overhead cam inline for producing nearly 150 horsepower. Paired with a lightweight aluminum twin, spar chassis, and Showa big piston fork suspension, it rockets to 60 miles per hour in less than 3 seconds before storming toward a top speed approaching 167 miles per hour. Yet numbers tell only part of the story. The GSX-R feels remarkably agile, carving corners with the confidence of a much smaller motorcycle while delivering thrilling straight line speed. If you're the kind of rider who respects real performance, not hype, this is your video. Hit like and subscribe, because that's how we keep breaking down machines built at the absolute edge of engineering. The motorcycle waiting at the next position would ignite an entirely new philosophy, proving that cutting weight could be every bit as revolutionary as adding horsepower. Number 16. Honda CBR 900R Fireblade. Every generation has a motorcycle that changes everything. For the early 1990s, that machine was the Honda and CBR 900RR Fireblade. While everyone else chased bigger engines and heavier superbikes, Honda took a bold gamble, proving that shaving weight could unlock even greater performance. It's 890, 3 cubic, centimeter liquid, cooled inline, 4 produced around 120, 2 horsepower, launching the Fireblade from 0 to 60 miles per hour in roughly 3 seconds before storming toward a top speed near 160 miles per hour. But the real breakthrough wasn't hidden beneath a fuel tank. It was the ultra-lightweight chassis, making this open-class machine flick through corners with the agility of a much smaller sport bike. When new, it carried a price of roughly $8,399. Today, clean examples commonly bring between $5,000 and $8,000, while pristine first-generation survivors can command well beyond $20,000 among collectors. The Fireblade rewrote the superbike rulebook, but as effective as it was in redefining agility, its top speed ceiling was still not enough to dominate the growing era of outright speed records. At the same time, another direction of development was emerging, one focused less on compact agility and more on long, extended high speed stability combined with raw top and power. That direction would soon produce the first motorcycles capable of seriously challenging the world's top speed benchmarks. And that's exactly where Kawasaki enters the picture. Number 15. Kawasaki Ninja ZX-11 ZZ-R1100. Before horsepower wars became an obsession, one motorcycle stood at the very top of the mountain. The Kawasaki Ninja ZX-11, known outside North America as the Z's R1100, didn't just challenge the competition, it left the entire industry chasing its taillight. Beneath its sleek fairings lived a 1,050 2 cubic centimeter liquid, cooled inline, 4 producing roughly 145 horsepower, enough to propel it to an astonishing top speed of around 176 miles per hour. Its real masterpiece, however, was Kawasaki's pioneering RAM air induction system. Twin ducts flanking the headlights forced cool, high-pressure air into the engine as speed climbed, helping unlock performance that few believed possible from a production motorcycle. Even more remarkable, it paired that breathtaking pace with genuine long-distance comfort, proving blistering speed and everyday usability could coexist. At this stage, we're already seeing motorcycles that didn't just improve performance, they changed what manufacturers thought was possible. Now tell me, have you ever ridden a bike that felt faster than it should be on paper? Leave your experience in the comments, because some of these machines behave very differently in the real world than their numbers suggest. And the motorcycle waiting ahead wouldn't simply edge past the ZX-11, it would ignite one of the fiercest speed battles motorcycling had ever witnessed. Number 14. Honda CBR 1100XX Super Blackbird. Some motorcycles are built to compete, others are built to make history. The Honda CBR 1100XX Super Blackbird belonged to the second group. When it arrived during the late 1990s, Honda wasn't chasing respect, it was chasing the world speed record. Every curve of its bodywork, every engine component, and every engineering decision served one purpose: knocking the reigning champion from its throne. Beneath its wind, cheating fairings rested a silky smooth 1130 7 cubic centimeter inline 4, producing well over 150 horsepower. The power arrived with relentless urgency, launching the Blackbird to 60 miles per hour in under 3 seconds before carrying it to nearly 180 miles per hour, making it the fastest production motorcycle of its era. Yet despite its astonishing pace, it remained remarkably refined, effortlessly devouring highway miles with comfort few superbikes could match. When new, it carried a price just under $11,000. Today, clean examples typically sell between $6,000 and $9,000, while pristine collector, quality motorcycles can bring even more. But its dominance would not last long in a period where manufacturers were no longer competing for incremental gains. They were competing for total supremacy. This is where the speed war reached its most aggressive phase, and where one motorcycle arrived with a singular purpose: to end the competition entirely by surpassing everything that came before it. Number 13. Suzuki Hayabusa First Generation. Some motorcycles earn respect, others become the benchmark every rival is forced to chase. That was the first generation Suzuki Hayabusa. When it arrived, it wasn't built to join the superbike battle, it was built to end it. Powered by a 1,290 9 cubic centimeter liquid, cooled inline, 4 delivering roughly 173 horsepower, the Hayabusa exploded to 60 miles per hour in well under 3 seconds before charging toward an astonishing top speed of nearly 194 miles per hour. Its secret wasn't power alone. Suzuki wrapped the engine in wind, cheating bodywork engineered to slice cleanly through the air, giving the Hayabusa unmatched stability where most motorcycles began to feel unsettled. When new, it carried a price of around $10,499. Today, solid examples typically sell between $5,500 and $8,000, while pristine collector bikes can bring well beyond $15,000. Yet even the mighty Hayabusa wouldn't hold the spotlight uncontested, because Kawasaki was already preparing its answer. Number 12. Kawasaki Ninja ZX-12R. The speed war was reaching its boiling point, and Kawasaki answered with a motorcycle built for one purpose: striking back. The Ninja ZX-12R arrived with a 1,190 9 cubic centimeter liquid, cooled inline, 4 producing a claimed 178 horsepower, unleashing breathtaking acceleration that rocketed toward an electronically limited top speed of 186 miles per hour. But its greatest advantage wasn't brute force alone. Kawasaki engineered an innovative aluminum monocoque chassis that doubled as the airbox, feeding its RAM air induction system with cleaner, straighter airflow as speed climbed. The result was astonishing stability and relentless high speed confidence. When new, it carried a sticker price of roughly $10,999. Today, clean rider. Quality examples usually sell between $4,500 and $7,000, while exceptional collector bikes often exceed $12,000. But as the Japanese manufacturers battled for top speed supremacy, European manufacturers began entering the same performance space with a different philosophy, less about raw mass, market dominance, and more about precision engineering, high RPM output, and exotic performance design. That shift brings us to one of Italy's most refined speed machines. Number 11. MV Agusta F4 1000R. Some motorcycles demand your attention with raw numbers. The MV Agusta F4 1000R earned it by turning breathtaking performance into rolling artwork. Penned by the legendary designer Massimo Tamburini, its sculpted body concealed a 990 𝐏𝐄𝐑 inline, producing roughly 174 horsepower. A Ferrari-inspired radial valve cylinder head helped the engine breathe effortlessly at soaring revs, while its razor-sharp aerodynamics carried the bike to a top speed approaching 187 miles per hour. Every mile per hour felt earned through precision rather than brute force. That exclusivity came with a premium, carrying a showroom price of nearly $20,000 when new. Today, well-kept examples typically command between $11,000 and $15,000, while pristine collector machines can climb beyond $25,000. At this point, you can see how speed isn't just horsepower anymore, it's philosophy. If that's clear to you, hit like, subscribe, and tell me which approach you trust more, Japanese consistency or European precision. Yet beauty alone wouldn't shape the next chapter of this countdown, because the motorcycle waiting ahead would prove that relentless engineering could be every bit as intoxicating as art. Number 10. Yamaha YZF-R1. Some motorcycles become icons. Others redefine what riders believe a superbike can be. The Yamaha YZF-R1 has done both for decades. From its very first appearance, it combined liter, bike power with remarkably compact dimensions, creating a machine that felt lighter, sharper, and more responsive than the competition. As the years passed, Yamaha pushed even further, introducing its MotoGP-inspired cross-plane crankshaft engine, delivering power with an addictive, unmistakable character and exceptional control. Its 990 𝐏𝐄𝐑 inline, 4 now, produces nearly 200 horsepower, launching from 0 to 60 miles per hour in roughly 2.5 seconds before reaching an electronically limited top speed of 186 miles per hour. When new, the original R1 cost around $10,199, while today's model starts near $18,999. Clean used examples range from roughly $5,000 to well over $20,000. But as electronics began entering the superbike world, raw mechanical performance was no longer the only factor determining speed potential. The next breakthrough came from a manufacturer that didn't just focus on horsepower, but on controlling that horsepower with surgical precision using advanced electronic systems that allowed riders to fully exploit performance at extreme speeds. That technological shift leads directly to BMW. Number 9. BMW S1000RR. When BMW entered the superbike arena, few expected the company to challenge the established giants. Then the S1000RR arrived and changed the conversation overnight. It wasn't just another fast motorcycle, it was a technological leap that forced every rival to rethink what a modern superbike could be. Its 990 𝐾𝐶 inline, 4 unleashes more than 200 horsepower, rocketing to 60 miles per hour in well under 3 seconds before charging toward a top speed, approaching 193 miles per hour. But the real magic lies in BMW's shift cam technology and sophisticated electronics, blending explosive acceleration with astonishing confidence at any speed. When it debuted, the S1000RR carried a price of about $13,800. Today's latest models begin around $20,000, while well-kept used examples range from roughly $8,000 to well over $20,000. The BMW S1000RR represents a turning point where raw speed performance is no longer just about engine output, but about how intelligently that power can be controlled at extreme velocity. With advanced electronics and aerodynamic efficiency working together, it turns immense horsepower into usable top-end performance. But even with this level of control and refinement, manufacturers were no longer satisfied with simply managing speed. They began chasing a deeper integration of race, derived engineering directly from championship platforms. That pursuit leads directly into the next Ducati's MotoGP-inspired approach. Number 8. Ducati Panigale V4R. Some motorcycles borrow technology from the racetrack. The Ducati Panigale V4R feels like it escaped from the starting grid itself. Built to dominate production. Racing, it packs a 990 8-cubic centimeter 𝐏𝐄𝐑 Stradale RV4 that delivers more than 218 horsepower, with Ducati's racing exhaust pushing output even higher. The result is breathtaking acceleration, blasting to 60 miles per hour in about 2.5 seconds before reaching speeds approaching 190 miles per hour. What truly separates the V4R is its MotoGP-inspired engineering. A counter-rotating crankshaft sharpens handling, while aerodynamic winglets generate downforce to keep the front wheel planted when every horsepower is unleashed. When new, it demanded around $40,000, while today's models approach $47,000. Even used examples rarely dip below $28,000. But even MotoGP-derived naturally inspired engineering has a ceiling when it comes to ultimate acceleration and straight-line dominance. At this stage of the speed arms race, one manufacturer ahead chose to break the traditional limits entirely by introducing something radically different, not more cylinders, not more RPM, but forced induction itself. That decision changed everything. Number 7. Kawasaki Ninja H2. Some motorcycles chase horsepower, others rewrite the rulebook. When the Kawasaki Ninja H2 burst onto the scene, it brought something riders thought had disappeared forever: a factory-built supercharger. Instead of following the crowd, Kawasaki reached into its aerospace expertise and created a machine unlike anything else on the road. At its heart is a 990 8-cubic centimeter inline, paired with a centrifugal supercharger spinning at astonishing speed, unleashing well over 200 horsepower. The result is breathtaking. Twist the throttle, and the Ninja H2 explodes towards 60 miles per hour in about 2.5 seconds before storming past the 200-mile-per-hour barrier. Yet what makes the experience unforgettable isn't just the speed, it's the relentless wave of acceleration that never seems to stop pulling. When it first arrived, this engineering masterpiece carried a price of about $25,000. Today, a new one commands roughly $34,000, while clean used examples typically range from $18,000 to well over $30,000. But while combustion engines were being pushed to their forced induction limits, another revolution was happening in parallel: the rise of electric propulsion, where torque delivery is instantaneous and unrestricted by traditional gearing and combustion constraints. That shift produces a completely different kind of speed leader. Number 6. Lightning LS218. For generations, riders believed ultimate speed demanded the roar of a gasoline engine. Then the Lightning LS218 arrived and turned that belief upside down. Built around a liquid-cooled electric motor producing roughly 244 horsepower and an astonishing 220 pound-feet of torque, it delivers full thrust the instant you twist the throttle. The result is a breathtaking launch to 60 miles per hour in about 2.5 seconds before surging to a verified top speed of 218 miles per hour. The LS218 proved electric performance wasn't the future. it had already arrived. When introduced, it carried a price of about $38,888. Today, new examples can approach $44,888, while the few used models available often sell between $20,000 and $35,000. We're now seeing two completely different worlds of speed: electric instant torque versus forced induction madness. If you're still with us, hit like, subscribe, and tell me which future you believe in: electric dominance or combustion evolution. And if you thought these machines were fast, don't relax just yet. From this point on, we're entering the top 5 fastest motorcycles ever made, where every position represents another leap in engineering, horsepower, and outright speed. Pay close attention. This is where the numbers become truly unbelievable. Number 5. Kawasaki Ninja H2 Carbon. By this point in our countdown, ordinary superbikes have been left far behind. The Kawasaki Ninja H2 Carbon belongs to a different breed entirely. At its heart lies a 990 8-cubic centimeter inline, fore-fed by Kawasaki's own centrifugal supercharger, unleashing roughly 228 horsepower or nearly 239 when the ram air system comes alive. The result is a relentless rush that hurls this carbon-clad hyperbike to a top speed of around 209 miles per hour with astonishing authority. Yet brute force is only half the story. Its lightweight, carbon fiber upper fairing, and sophisticated electronics work together to keep all that performance remarkably controlled. When it debuted, this engineering masterpiece carried a price of about $32,500. Today, a new one starts around $34,700, while clean used examples usually bring between $23,000 and $29,000. But even this level of refinement cannot match machines built without compromise for closed course environments. At this point in the ranking, we move beyond production compromise and into machines designed purely to demonstrate the absolute ceiling of motorcycle engineering performance. That brings us to Kawasaki's track, only extreme machine. Number 4. Kawasaki Ninja H2R. Most motorcycles are built for the street. The Kawasaki Ninja H2R was built to chase the impossible. Stripped of road, going compromises, and unleashed exclusively for the racetrack, it answered a question few manufacturers ever dared to ask. How fast can a production motorcycle truly go when performance becomes the only priority? Its supercharged 990 8-cubic centimeter inline unleashes more than 300 horsepower, climbing even higher as ram air pressure builds. The acceleration is almost surreal, launching to 60 miles per hour in about 2.5 seconds before blasting beyond 249 miles per hour. Carbon fiber winglets slice through the air, generating real downforce to keep this mechanical missile planted as the horizon disappears. When it debuted, the H2R carried a staggering price of about $50,000. Today, new examples approach $60,000, while collector-quality machines frequently command far more. But even this is still rooted in piston engine limitations. As we move higher in the ranking, we encounter machines that abandon traditional motorcycle engine architecture entirely, replacing pistons with aerospace-derived propulsion systems capable of producing continuous, turbine-driven power delivery unlike anything in conventional superbike design. That engineering shift leads to one of the most unique motorcycles ever built. Number 3. MTT Y2K Turbine Superbike. Some motorcycles chase speed through bigger engines and smarter electronics. The MTT Y2K ignored every convention and borrowed its power from the sky. Instead of a piston engine, this extraordinary machine carries a Rolls-Royce Allison helicopter turbine that unleashes roughly 320 horsepower and an astonishing 420 5-pound-feet of torque. Fired up, and the familiar rumble of a motorcycle is replaced by the haunting whine of a jet preparing for takeoff. With a top speed approaching 227 miles per hour, it feels less like riding and more like piloting an aircraft down the highway. Its rarity is just as remarkable. When introduced, the Y2K carried an eye-watering price of around $175,000. Today, new examples can approach $275,000, while rare auction sales often climb well beyond $300,000. But despite its uniqueness, it remains a technological outlier rather than the defining standard of production motorcycle speed evolution. The next machine, however, is not an experiment. It is the refinement of an entire generation of speed warfare, representing decades of continuous development in aerodynamics, electronics, and engine efficiency. That evolution brings us back to the most iconic name in production motorcycle speed history. Number 2. Suzuki Hayabusa Modern Generation. Few motorcycles have earned legendary status, but the Suzuki Hayabusa has carried that title for decades. When the modern generation arrived, Suzuki wasn't trying to reinvent an icon, it was perfecting one. Beneath its unmistakable aerodynamic bodywork lives a 1,340 cubic centimeter inline, 4 producing roughly 180, 7 horsepower, and 110 pound-feet of torque. Twist the throttle, and the Hayabusa charges to 60 miles per hour in well under 3 seconds before climbing to its electronically limited top speed of 186 miles per hour with effortless stability. Its greatest strength is refinement. Suzuki's intelligent ride system works seamlessly with a long wheelbase chassis and wind tunnel honed bodywork, giving riders remarkable confidence at extraordinary speeds. When it debuted, it carried a price of about $18,599. Today's models start near $19,399, while clean used examples often sell between $14,500 and well above $20,000. The modern Hayabusa refines everything that made the original platform a legend: aerodynamic stability, engine endurance, and sustained high-speed capability, while integrating modern electronics that allow controlled access to extreme performance. But even this refined evolution is not the final point of the story. The ultimate position belongs to the most advanced iteration of this platform, where all previous generations converge into a single perfected expression of production motorcycle speed engineering. That final step defines the absolute peak of this entire countdown. Number 1. Suzuki Hayabusa Latest Generation. Every speed revolution has a machine that refuses to fade into history. For motorcycling, that machine is the Suzuki Hayabusa. It didn't simply become one of the fastest motorcycles ever built, it became the legend every hyperbike would eventually be measured against. Beneath its unmistakable aerodynamic bodywork lives a 1,340 cubic centimeter inline, 4 producing roughly 180, 7 horsepower, and 110 pound-feet of torque, delivering an endless wave of acceleration that feels effortless at any speed. Although electronically limited to around 186 miles per hour, the Hayabusa was engineered to remain calm and remarkably composed, where most motorcycles begin to feel overwhelmed. Suzuki's intelligent ride system adds launch control, multiple riding modes, traction control, wheelie control, cruise control, and engine braking management, transforming breathtaking performance into confidence, inspiring precision. When it arrived, the latest generation carried a price of about $18,599. Today, a new model starts around $19,399, while low mileage used examples typically range from roughly $14,500 to more than $20,000. And that brings us to the end of our countdown. From lightweight superbikes and Italian masterpieces to supercharged monsters, electric rockets, and even a jet-powered creation, every motorcycle on this list pushed engineering beyond what once seemed possible. Yet when riders talk about ultimate speed, one name still echoes louder than the rest. The Hayabusa didn't just chase history, it became history, proving that true legends aren't remembered for breaking records alone, but for changing the entire direction of motorcycling forever. And that's the real story behind these machines. They're not just fast motorcycles. They're the result of decades of engineers pushing against every limit they could find. But the bigger question is this: how much further can production motorcycles actually go before the ceiling becomes permanent? Because what you've seen here is only one side of the speed story. Click the next video to continue the road trip. Join our tribe by subscribing. And don't forget to like this video.